When Hollywood is thought of as a way of life rather than a place on the map, it can be said that Beverly Hills is more Hollywood than Hollywood. This is a stylish, overly motorized community. In Beverly Hills, the pedestrian is seen only by day. At night, someone taking a stroll is so conspicuous, he is apt to be questioned by the omnipresent police patrols, who amply protect residents who live here in stately elegance. In any community where there are so many on the outside wanting in, status considerations can become highly involved, as is the case with this young actor just beginning to make some headway in his career. He notices a fellow actor he has not seen for some time who may now be in. Then again, he may still be out. The other man has the same uncertainty about our friend. The question becomes, who shall cross the street to whom? The only solution is to meet halfway. Neither one has lost any status, and each thinks the other may do him some good, if they live long enough. Most of the talent agencies are located in Beverly Hills. William Morris is the oldest, biggest agency of them all. The good agent is much sought after, but he is not apt to be an overly sentimental sort. He promotes what he can sell, and the young hopeful may get the first realistic appraisal of her talent from a hard-headed, neatly suited young man who will evaluate her potential strictly in terms of the existing market. The eccentric and extravagant image of Hollywood has yielded to this immaculate, business-like one. In an era of tremulous sponsors, uncertain audiences, and high production costs, confidence goes best to the conservative, well-dressed executive, not unlike his counterparts in business anywhere. The conservative image extends to places where the Hollywood celebrity chooses to dine, the small, select restaurant. Here, without being besieged, he is still noticed by the people who count. Celebrities vie with one another for a table in an aura of exclusivity. But once inside, they are all part of an intimate family. The management assigns the tables from the reservation list. Where you sit is determined by how you rank. Hollywood is the place where women started wearing pants, led by Marlene Dietrich in the 30s. Slacks are now an accepted item of feminine apparel, but at Jack's of Beverly Hills, they achieve a new, impressive status. Slacks and sweaters are both modeled and sold by these young girls who set the tone of controlled casualness the customer is looking for. Prices for slacks average $45, but they are guaranteed not to droop. That is, if the customer doesn't. The Hollywood male is not neglected either. This is the Sebring house of hairstyling. The customer's hair is cut while wet here, then shaped to the head and to the personality. This unusual expression of male vanity is costly. An analysis and haircut can cost from $7 to $25. One of Hollywood's indestructibles, Henry Fonda, is in once a week while making a picture. He has to appear unchanged on the screen while the production takes weeks to finish. Jay Sebring's job in this case is to snip away about 1/4 of an inch a week, which by the inch makes for a pretty expensive haircut. Another one of the indestructibles, Joan Crawford, has changed remarkably little over a 35-year period of movie stardom. In a current suspense film, Straitjacket, made for producer William Castle, her marvelously unperturbed physical beauty and vitality is amply demonstrated. In the film, she spans a 20-year gap in time. In a characterization calling for extreme changes in mood, Crawford remains undeniably Crawford, which is perhaps the first quality of a star. Though a few stars have thus far survived its abuses, time is an enemy to fame. Impermanence has always been an aspect of life in Hollywood. Perhaps it is maturity, or perhaps just age, but as of late, the movie colony is concerning itself with its past and developing a sense of tradition. A new museum will be built on these grounds. It will cost over $14 million and house and preserve the record of Hollywood's exciting years. The most enthusiastic supporters of the museum are the stars themselves. Among them, legends in their own time, like Mary Pickford, Gloria Swanson, and Francis X. Bushman. Hollywood also demonstrates its coming of age in the extent of its charitable activity. In a show business environment, a good cause can best be served by putting on a good show. A group called the Thalians is giving this annual lavish party. Tickets to the affair cost $100 a plate, but the Hollywood elite show up en masse to be counted. In a single evening, over $100,000 is collected to support a clinic for emotionally disturbed children. There is another big traditional charity affair every year in Hollywood. The girls in the chorus are all the wives of Hollywood notables. They are the nucleus of an organization called SHARE, and this is their party. The show is the result of many months of planning and rehearsal, with support from an array of talent that would cost millions if it were not donated. Some of the biggest names in show business play exuberantly to an audience composed of even more of the biggest names in show business. Later, the audience and players alike make a sport of giving by purchasing grab bag gifts at outlandish prices. The $130,000 they collect will aid the retarded child, a proud evening's work. They still come, the young aspirants to Hollywood success. One sees them like moths fluttering in the glare of neon lights. One sees them again carefully planning their food purchases in an all-night market. One sees them at 3 a.m. hugging the excitement of the late hour. One sees desire take hold in the faces of teenagers as the Hollywood dream replenishes itself. Hollywood is a town in transition, but its change is toward the conservative, the metropolitan. Hollywood promises to become part of another super city, like a lot of super cities in America. But the dream persists, that there is still magic here. At night, from a high building or hilltop, when the lights of the city are like beacons down below, the dream persists.